Click play and call it work.
Hey guys, Josh here to bring you this week's Sit and Talk, the show where you ask us questions and we answer them to the best of our abilities. Next week it's going to be Quirk, so if you have any questions for Quirk, leave comments in this video. Make sure you address him, put Quirk at the beginning of your question so he knows which ones to pull out. Let's jump right into it. If you see me kind of glancing over a little bit, I got my notes set up, so that's why. First person asking a question is Tyler TT. At Josh, really enjoying everything you bring to the MiniWarGaming team. Really hope to make it down to play with you all one day. Well, thanks, dude. Glad you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out, and I really hope you make it down to play as well. Tell you what, shoot me an email. Let me know what it is that you play, what game systems, what armies. Josh at MiniWarGaming.com, because I'm kind of curious. Your question is, I was wondering if any of you guys stay in touch with Leland still, or if you get games in with him at all. Again, I really enjoy all your content, and I'm honestly jealous of your line of work. As far as Leland goes, I see him every once in a while. Still text back and forth a little bit. He was at... Me and some of the other guys recently went down to a auction for gaming stuff at one of the local hobby shops, and saw him there, kind of caught up with him a little bit. He's a super busy dude. He's still playing a little bit, but I know he's not playing as much as he used to. I haven't had a game with him for ages. So, yeah, I think he's busy with work. He's got a pretty sweet job. Won't go into all the details there, but who knows, maybe he'll post on this and let you guys know what he's doing with himself. Next set of questions is from the Uninvisible Man. Josh, where are you from? I am from, well, basically here in Welland. I grew up in Welland. My family originally, like when I was born down in Hamilton. And my family is originally from Nova Scotia, Joggins, Nova Scotia, if you want to get real specific. So I don't know how many Down Easterners we have watching, but hey guys, never been down there. Love to get down there one day. Where do you live now? I live like 7 minutes away from MiniWarGaming, like a 7-minute car ride. That's one of the reasons I used to come in so much and play against Steve and them, is I am super, super local. Do you have a partner or spouse? It's the easiest way to answer this one. I have a lovely girl that I share my life with named Heather. Her and I have been together for coming up on 12 years now. Hey, babe. We are not like officially married, but we're common law. So take that as you will. But yeah, we've been together steady for 12 years now. What did you do before you became a MiniWarGamer? I'm going to work under the assumption that you're asking about what I did for a living. I pretty well had 2 jobs before this. If we go back to when I was in college, and actually high school and college, and then a little bit after college, I worked as a lifeguard. Pretty sweet job, lifeguard and swimming instructor, teaching kids how to swim all the way up to teaching lifeguarding courses. That was a lot of fun. It was an indoor pool, so I got to work year-round. After that, I got into doing retail. Used to work at a local store, or a local chain called Canadian Tire. All the Canadian folks know exactly what that means, and if not, everybody else can Google it, and it's easy enough to figure out Canadian Tire. Kind of like Walmart, but not like groceries and all the other, not as much household stuff. When I was at Canadian Tire, my main thing is I sold firearms. I was the gun guy, so it was my responsibility to take care of all of the orders for the store, customer special orders, and just teaching everybody about firearms. So kind of a gun nut. Surprisingly enough, don't meet many other gun nuts here at MiniWarGaming. I know Quirk's getting into firearms a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm doing the mic now because my beard eats the regular clip-on mics. But yeah, surprisingly, most wargamers don't seem to be that into real-world firearms. Do you drive? Yes. Not having to drive very often, though, because I live super close to work. Do you have any pets? Yes, many much pets. I I have a dog. I have an English Mastiff named Matilda. She's a sweetheart. She's a big dummy, weighs about 160 pounds. Super awesome dog, though. Other pets, what do I currently have? I have a leopard gecko. I've had him since I was in grade 8, so he's been with me for years and years and years. Beyond that, I have a Madagascar giant day gecko. I was hoping for a breeding pair, but the pair wasn't getting along, so I had to split them up. I also have a Colombian red-tail boa constrictor. And then I keep fish. I've got a South American species tank, mostly tetras and some South American cichlids. In the past, I used to keep poison dart frogs. I would love to get back into it. I didn't have enough time to maintain that. But yeah, I used to breed them. It was loads of fun. I'm actually working on a tank right now, so we'll see. Hopefully in the next year or two I'll be able to get back into poison dart frogs, but not right now. Let me know if you guys have any interesting pets. That's kind of always curious. I think I listed off a ton of different pets there. Do you have a space in the office? Yes, I do have a space in the office. I tell you what, let's cut for a second and we'll jump over to where my space in the office is and you guys can check it out. This is my workstation out in the warehouse with Lee. So, got the big old L-shaped desk that I didn't just clean up just for the sake of doing this. Definitely didn't just clean up. Hey Lee.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at me.
Why? You're funny.
I think I'm funny.
Funny looking.
Lots of shelves of storage for all sorts of different stuff. My Night Lords, the Ogre Kingdoms, which I gotta get around to up there. Some bolt action, Canadians, Gorka Morka stuff, Blood Bowl team, Curs. Some of my Star Wars stuff. There's a whole whack of everything. I actually picked up this army. I'll show this to you guys because I want an opinion. Let's see here. Picked these models up at the auction I was talking about. They're meant to be Alpha Legion, but we already have an Alpha Legion player and they're kind of too green. I don't know what I'm going to use them as. Shoot me a comment, let me know what you guys think. But yeah, this is my workstation, my desk, that I don't spend very much time at. So yeah, that's my desk. That's my workstation. Let me know what you guys think about that army. I can't make my mind up. Last question from the Uninvisible Man. Finally, when is your birthday? I don't know why you want to know my birthday. It's September 10th. Bro Lunial. Josh, will we see Chaos Demons in Age of Sigmar soon? I don't know what your definition of soon is. There is definitely a lot of stuff that's starting to come in, but I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be able to get some content out, including it. And have you gotten to try out the Fire Slayers? If yes, what did you think about them? No, the Fire Slayers have not even arrived yet, so I have not had the chance to check them out. I've read the rules. I'm excited to play them, but yeah, no first-hand experience. Next question from Matt Selwood. Josh, what is the strangest thing you have ever pulled out of your beard? Strangest thing I've pulled out of my beard? Probably a live yellow jacket, like a bee, a wasp. I went for a bike ride, and he must have got stuck in there at some point, and he was not happy about it when I got home. So that's the strangest thing I've ever pulled out of my beard. Daka Daka Boom Boom. To Josh, happy Beard Day. Happy Beard Day to you too, sir. How is life treating MiniWarGaming's resident bearded wolfman? Life's good, brother. I got a sweet job working with my buddies. What more could you ask for? Next part here was you and Steve as a double act crease me up. There's actual bromance. Must be the beard that does it. After all, it is magical. The way it flows in the breeze, it stands proud like the guardian of your face. I want to get that tattooed on myself now. How does it feel to have middle-aged men in love with your chin wig? I'm used to it at this point. I joke that I almost grew out the beard as a social experiment. When the store I was working at previously, Canadian Tire, like I mentioned, got into selling firearms, we kind of joked about having somebody that looks sort of Duck Dynasty working. So I grew my beard out just to see how it would look, and this is the result. And you get all sorts of funny, weird reactions from people out of it. So I'm used to people being in love with my beard. And yeah, working with Steve, a good buddy of mine, so it's fun to work with your buddies. There's no complaints about that. Dave Byrne. Josh, if you were to get your own show at MiniWarGaming like Steve's at Gaming with the Mountain, what would you call your show? I don't know. We are going to say it's going to be called Don't Fear the Beard. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? What would you name my show if you had to name my show? Wargren. Josh, we already know that it's part of the plan, but is it tired? It's always part of the plan, not always tired. Which leads into something I find kind of entertaining. Ever since working here, I realize, especially filming my own stuff, you have a tendency to repeat the same stuff over and over again. It's more noticeable now that I'm, filming my own content and getting the chance to watch it. Because when you guys are watching, it might be, I'm saying that every 5 seconds. For me, it might be, it might be 20 minutes in between those two clips. So it's kind of funny that, yeah, I got to work on that. But I've got a couple catchphrases apparently. Doll Masters. Josh, all capitals, very authoritative. Do you play Malifaux? Do you guys have any plans on that game? Me and my friends just can't stop playing it. Very affordable and very clever. Malifaux? I don't play Malifaux. I'm assuming by you guys you mean the studio. I don't think the studio has any plans to be covering Malifaux anytime soon. I mean, don't quote me on that. I'm not the one who decides any kind of content, but I haven't heard anything about it. I think a couple of the guys here were talking about playing it, but I haven't seen anything come of that yet. So it does seem like a cool game. I like skirmish-style games. I'm not huge on the setting and the look of the models, but I play everything. I'd check it out. But it's not on my list of to-do now. So it won't be me leading that initiative to go check out any Malifaux, even though it seems like a cool game. I've heard really positive things. Next is Chosen One. Josh, now that you looked at the upcoming Warmachine MK3 stuff a bit in the first episode of the reroll, do you have any thoughts on it? And are you, Quirk, going to lock and load to get early access to the miniatures in the rulebook, or just wait until the 29th? MK3, it feels like it's time for it. My biggest complaint when playing Warmachine, and I'm guilty of it, guys, is Infantry Machine. I find Infantry super boring, but they're so much better than Warjacks right now. There's no real point in taking a Warjack heavy list, which, when it's a game about giant robots, you're missing out. So I'm glad that they seem to be changing it to give some incentives for more Warjacks and more beasts. I hope MK3 doesn't go the way of MK2 and it's just Infantry Machine, because they're pumping out a bunch of infantry models that they're making a bunch of money off of, so they give them really good rules. I hope that does not happen. For one, I'm excited for it. So that sums that one up. Quirk, are you or Quirk going to lock and load? I don't have any plans for it. I don't know about Quirk. Double check. Ask him. Actually, post a comment and ask him, and he will answer for himself. I don't have any plans to go to lock and load. I'm just waiting until it actually officially releases. Let's see here. Carlos D. Jackal. Hey, Josh. Love your content. I appreciate the compliment, sir. Do you get nervous when filming your own bat reps? I wouldn't call it nervous. I call it anxious. When you film with Steve, you seem a lot more relaxed. You can tell that you are good buddies. I would assume filming with someone you know really well is a lot easier. If you had to pick your main catchphrase, would it be dang, he's angry, or get him? As far as catchphrases, it depends on the situation. Usually I want to be, it's get angry, because I'm rolling terribly. I don't know, dang is probably the way that I feel the most. As far as filming with somebody like Steve, there's a certain level of relaxation because you guys aren't seeing what's happening off the clip. It's a lot of, like I said, Steve and I are good buddies, so there's a lot of joking happening off clip. So usually after the camera turns on, we've been laughing for 5 minutes about some goofy whatever. filming with a guest, you don't necessarily get that as much because, I mean, how can you? You've only known the person for so long. They're still joking around, having fun. But it's a lot more relaxed when you're filming with another content producer for a couple different reasons. Like I said, you know each other, you're buddies, easy to film there. Being able to pass the camera back and forth makes filming a lot easier. And playing with somebody that you know how well they know the rules. We get a lot of awesome guests that come in, and there's all sorts of different skill levels. But when you're filming with a guest, you got to be a little extra careful to make sure the rules are correct, because obviously everybody makes mistakes. Stuff falls through the cracks. Some people get nervous on camera or what have you. It's a little bit more relaxed when people are used to being on camera and they're comfortable with it. Next question is M. Tempest. Hi, Josh. Please go ask Matt when he is going to paint a Warcaster for you. Him being a superior painter and all. Harsh, dude, harsh. I think everybody's a better painter than me. If I had to ask everybody who was a better painter than me to go paint me a Warcaster, I'd have a lot of Warcasters painted by other people. So, no. Actually, I think I have all the Warcasters I need for Retribution right now that are painted, so I don't have to worry about it. Evil Party Girl. This is a long one. I'm going to take a quick sip. Okay, Evil Party Girl. Josh, what do you think about taking allied detachments? I noticed not many producers at MiniWarGaming do this. Anyway, this is about your Skitarii AdMech. If you play Marines with Skitarii AdMech allies, you get to learn them incrementally. As a long-time AdMech player, I have a big AdMech theme count as Inquisition Force and Iron Hand's successor. Well, that's kind of cool. I haven't thought about doing that. See if there's more to this. I gotta flip pages, guys. Which looks like a nice coherent army on the table. You should try it. Also, what part of the chicken do you like the most and how is it prepared? Those are two very, very different questions. First of all, I never thought about the combined thing. I'm an old school Warhammer player. I like just playing a single mono army, one army out of one book, combined arms detachment. I'd play allies though. Here's what I'll tell you. I don't know if I would come up with a list I'm happy with on my own, but if it's something you think I should try out, go ahead and shoot me an email, josh@miniwargaming.com. Shoot me the list that you use. I'll check it out, and who knows? If I use it, I'll give you a shout out on it, or even if I take it and modify it for myself, I'll give you a shout out. It could be an interesting way to learn that army, because I feel overwhelmed playing the AdMech stuff. It just is not sticking in my head. What part of the chicken do you like the most? How is it prepared? I like chicken wings. I'm pretty basic, so good old chicken wings, honey garlic, that's my favorite part of the chicken anyways. I eat more fish than I do chicken. I'm not a huge, I don't mind chicken, it's just nothing spectacular for me. Eldar Shall Rise. Josh of the EDB Epic Dwarf Beard. I'm looking to get into Warmachine and will be buying the all-in-one army box for Retribution for my starting point. Good for you. What got you into Retribution? That's my question for you. Is it the fact that I played them, or am I just being way too full of myself? Would you have any recommendations for future Warcasters and the like? Also, in terms of painting, what paints would be good to use? I know, it depends on how you want to paint your army. Privateer Press, everybody puts out good paints. There's not really that many companies putting out really bad quality paints. But if you want to go ahead and match what Privateer Press is doing, just use their paints. So that's my recommendation, unless you have a reason to otherwise use the Privateer Press stuff. Now, future Warcasters and the like, it's tough to say because, the game is changing, so I don't want to say go buy this dude and, the rules are completely different. Some of my favorite Warcasters are, you see me run Kaelissa quite a bit, and I think she's the one coming with the all-in-one army box, so Kaelissa. If you don't already have her for whatever reason, if it's a different Warcaster. I like Adeptus Ron quite a bit. He's an interesting caster to use. A lot of board control, teaches you some different aspects of the game. Other than that, run Gareth. He's very underutilized. From what I understand, Mark III, he's going to get some boosted rules to make him a little bit better. He's a cool ninja assassin caster. So pick him up, and you'll have 3 casters that play very differently, and you get to learn some different parts of the game. Next up, HCLS 315. Josh, Was wondering when MiniWarGaming was going to do an unboxing review of the starter sets GW has been cranking out. I noticed a lot of discussions behind the games, but no unboxings of the Age of Sigmar starter set, Deathwatch Overkill, Imperial Knights Renegade, Betrayal at Kelth, and the one I'm looking forward to, Warhammer Quest Silver Tower. I don't think they've ever been huge on doing unboxing kind of videos here. Who knows? I will bring it up to Matt. We might be doing some, but I don't think you can expect any real unboxing stuff. There's other companies that do that. But who knows? If there's enough demand for it, we'll look into it. Now, a lot of those games we haven't really covered. But again, who knows? We got to look at what there's demand for right now. There's a couple games there I would be super excited for, but couldn't tell you about what's going to get coverage. That one is not up to me. That's more up to Matt and Dave. Stealthy Panda at Josh. Thanks for being awesome. Thank you for being awesome. Gotta love that bromance with everyone. Yeah, dude. Be buddies with everybody. Life's too short to not get along with people, so get along with people. Just wondering, if you could play one more army in 40k, what would it be, and any news on new games? I know what you mean by news on new games. I mean, there's a lot of cool releases for stuff coming out, but no real new games I'm excited for, because my plate is full with everything I'm doing here. Something we don't cover that I think they're releasing a new edition of is Dystopian Wars. Chris and I used to play some Dystopian Wars. I know if you guys recognize David White from some of the videos, he's getting into Dystopian as well. So you might wait. That would probably be the next big game that I'm going to play, but not play on camera, because there was never really a ton of demand for something like Dystopian Wars. What was the other question? If you could play one more army in 40k, what would it be? I don't know, dude. I got access to whatever armies I want. If there's one army that I would really like to play that we don't have, we have a small Imperial Fist army. I'd love to play Imperial Fists. For whatever reason, I like the chapter. It's cool fluff. The yellow dudes are just cool. So if I could pick one army and just be like, bam, here's the army, I'm going to play it, it would be Imperial Fists. Got time for about one more comment here. This is Thomas Walsh. Josh, it seems like you're taking the reins from Steve to some degree on hosting Age of Sigmar content while he's still doing a lot of fantasy content. Is this going to be the new thing for you guys? I don't know how to best answer that. When I was originally brought on, the idea was that I'd be filling in wherever necessary. We needed somebody to fill in to cover more Age of Sigmar content, as Steve has been very busy with fantasy and some other things. So, probably. Matt talked about it a little bit in the last sit and talk he did, where there's going to be somewhat of a little bit of a hiatus for some of the Age of Sigmar content in the next little while, simply because it's sort of in a flux right now with Games Workshop of what they're going to be doing with the rules. We want to see what's going to be happening with that. We have a Path to Glory in the works that we're just waiting on models to come in. But we're waiting for models for other armies, so we got to get everything fleshed out. We got to figure out exactly how we're going to cover it, because right now it's not an easy game to cover, because there's a bajillion different comp systems, so it's tough to get guests in to cover, because not only do you got to find somebody that plays the game, has painted models, but you got to find somebody who knows the rules for a specific comp system and have the army for that comp system. So it's a little bit tough with Age of Sigmar. So there's going to be a little bit of figuring out. So I think there's somewhat of a temporary slow down in Age of Sigmar. Still going to be some Age of Sigmar content, but we need to do a little bit of a revamp, overhaul, and get ready to put it out proper again. We'll do one more. Maybe a couple more. Fleshcraft. Josh, could you play more often in Zorn Mortalis? Yeah, probably. I'll check out the rules. I like the smaller scale stuff. Zorn Mortalis has been fun, so I tell you what, I will do what I can in the next little while. And a little while for me could be like 6 months for you guys, depending on when the content comes out. I'll do some reading up on Zorn Mortalis, and we will go from there. See if I can get a little bit more. Sorry guys, I had a little hiccup in the audio there. But I'm back with you. Got a couple more questions, so let's go ahead and wrap them up. Next question is from Cassadar the Spymaster. Josh, what was the most jarring part of joining the MiniWarGaming crew? I don't know if there's any jarring part. Probably the biggest thing for me was starting to film content of my own. When I was brought on by MiniWarGaming, I don't think anybody knew what to expect, what necessarily I was going to be doing, but I fell into doing content pretty quickly. So probably the most jarring part was getting used to that. Had a couple training days, and then started taking guests and filming bat reps. So it was a change for me because I had not done anything like that professionally before. So it's been a really cool learning experience. I'm still learning every single day. So we'll say that would be the most jarring part for me. Next up, we have Ultra at Josh. When are we going to see some Ogre Kingdoms in the old World Wars show? I'm going to do my best to make sure my Ogre Kingdoms army does not become Steve's Dark Angels, where, it's sitting on the back burner for literally forever. The honest answer I have is I haven't gotten around to getting anything ready, which is terrible because it's Ogre Kingdoms. I'm actually looking at, I might just get a commission done so I can get it onto the table a little bit quicker because I don't have the time to do it right now. I'm starting to get a somewhat good idea of what I want to get painted to be able to get onto the board. So soon, but yeah, that is really high on my priority scale, but there is a couple other things that are more time sensitive than that, but hopefully soon. To be honest, I haven't had the chance to play a whole lot of fantasy lately, but yeah, I want to get them done. I want to start playing them. Cullen and I have played off camera a couple times with them, so like I said, I think I have a better sense of what it is that I want to bring. Next we have Sand Tiger. Josh, will you be trying out any of the Death from the Skies rules soon? I have not yet seen or experienced how the Space Wolves flyers match up on table against other flyers. Will I be using any of the Death from the Skies rules soon? I can't say. It depends. It's not something that I feel super strong about. Matt did a bunch of coverage for the Death from the Skies. If I have a guest that comes in which wants to play flyers, good, let's do it. But I don't think I'm going to try to strong-arm anybody into playing with flyers, so maybe we'll see. As far as the Space Wolves specific stuff, I've played Space Wolves a couple times, but it's not my primary army per se, so I don't really know when you're going to see those guys in action. Whether it's going to be me playing them, Dave playing them, or who. So unfortunately, I don't have a solid answer for you there. We'll see. Last question is from Baba Ganoush. Have you guys considered doing a narrative X-Wing campaign? Yes, we have. Quirk and I have talked about it. We're not really sure, though. There's a couple out there that we have thought about doing, but no real for sure commitment to that. Again, it's another game where we're feeling out to see what it is that the viewers are interested in. Narrative campaign, like coming up with our own narrative campaign, I don't know how comfortable I feel about that one, because the Star Wars story, say what you will about it, on what is actually proper canon right now. I don't want to go mucking around with that too much. But yeah, would I cover something that was already established by somebody else? Because there's some that seem like pretty semi-official, pretty well done. I don't know. Again, I'll put this one back on you to a certain degree. If any of you viewers have any X-Wing narrative campaigns that you really like or some stuff that you've done, feel free to send me some of that, josh@miniwargaming.com. At the very least, I will promise that I will reply back to you, but I can't say if it's something we're going to use or not use, anything like that. But hey, I promise you, if you email it to me, I will check it out as soon as I can. And I think that wraps up the questions for this week. So guys, remember, next week it is Quirk. So any questions you have for Quirk, put them in the comment section of this video. Make sure you address them to Quirk so he knows which comments to pull out. Other than that, guys, thanks for leaving some comments. Hopefully I answered the questions adequately for you. Anything else you got, send it to josh@miniwargaming.com. Other than that, guys, happy wargaming.